Thank you very much, Director of Media Services, Dr. Major Mutambudzi. Yes. Sorry, I moved it. I think we have enough social distance, unfortunately, because my glasses were not work with the mask. But it's very important to keep our masks on. Let me say, Dr. Mutambudzi and the organizers of this conference, I'm very impressed. I was sitting here listening to the introductions and I said, wow, this room is vibrating with talent, with public relations officers of this country, with the brand managers of this country, and I felt good. I felt good. I drove at midnight to come to Gweru, and I think there is all the reasons for me to come down and join with you. I begin by recognizing the Vice President KCD Mohadi in absentia, whose office facilitated this media workshop. I want to salute the UNDP resident representative, also in absentia, whose office sponsored this workshop. I salute the Minister of Finance and Economic Development, my colleague Minister Professor M. Nube, also in absentia, but represented here as the head of the Ministry for the National Development Strategy 1. I need to salute you, colleague, in the image building. And Foreign Affairs is also equally represented here. You are in the international engagement and re-engagement cluster. And your mandate is to inform the nation and the world on the National Development Strategy 1. Chief Director in the VP KCD Mohadi's office, Mr. Doe. Chief Director, Communications and Advocacy in the Ministry of Finance, Mr. Pambela. Director, already mentioned, Dr. Eliwe Mutambudzi. Government officials from all the ministries, and I'm very impressed that we do have most officials from our ministries. And editors, my journalists from across the media houses who are here present, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, comrades and friends. As already alluded, it really gives me great pleasure to be around here, around you, to address this gathering this morning. I'm thrilled that after government spent several months formulating the NDS 1, that was subsequently launched by His Excellency Comrade E.G. Mnangagwa last month, we are meeting with you, our colleagues in the media industry, from across the board to strategize on how best to inform the nation on this strategy. The overarching objective of the workshop is to train our media houses on the TSP successes and NDS 1 reporting. In general terms, strategy aims to bridge the gap between means and ends towards a desired vision. The implementation of a national strategy depends on national participation and how we engage with the outside world. Under the visionary leadership of Comrade E.G. Mnangagwa, our president, the Second Republic seeks to transform Zimbabwe to an upper middle income society by 2030. The roadmap towards that includes the Transitional Stabilization Program, TSP, which began in 2019 and is ending this December 2020. Riding on the success of the TSP are 2 5-year development programs, NDS 1 running from 2021 to 2025, and NDS 2 which will run from 2026 to 2030. It is common cause, ladies and gentlemen, that the pace of development in any nation is correlated to the degree of peace and stability which is prevailing in that country. It is for this reason that the office of the Vice President KCD Mohatri, which spearheads peace and reconciliation efforts in the country, they saw it fit to partner with the United Nations Development Programme, whose main mission is to assist Zimbabwe attain its development goals in line with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. This workshop will thus address peace topics, highlighting the kind of environment that we should foster to spur national development. I want to profoundly thank the Office of the Vice President for initiating this workshop and providing this vital peace and development component in its program. I also want to thank the UNDP for providing the resources that made this possible. Given the NDS 1 and NDS 2, right on the foundation laid by the TSP, it is imperative that media houses are clear on what the program achieved and its linkages with the two development strategies. In his address on the occasion of the launch of the NDS 1, the President, His Excellency, Comrade E.G. Mnangagwa highlighted that the TSP, and I quote, the TSP has undoubtedly delivered notable and critical successes and set a firm foundation upon which we can build and achieve our objectives as laid out in this NDS 1, unquote. Despite the TSP delivering on most of its set objectives, there is a glaring disjuncture between the achievements and what the media is delivering to the nation. Consequently, we now have a National Development Strategy 1. Meanwhile, the nation is not fully informed on the fundamentals that were realized by the foundational program TSP. Wherein, at some point, prophets of doom and our detractors were predicting an economic meltdown of great proportions, the TSP, which invested in development enabling infrastructural sectors such as roads, energy, and ICT, buttressed by a raft of measures including deliberately working on budget rationalization, introduction of the forex auction system, and an assortment of financial sector reforms, the country has stabilized the economy by arresting hitherto runaway inflation, stabilized prices, and brought the much-needed macroeconomic stability. The successes of the TSP will be unpacked to you in the greater detail, and I know there are experts around here in this workshop. It is thus my fervent hope that this workshop, which brings the best minds, and they are here in this industry, which I am proudly happy to be associated with as the Minister of Information, Publicity and Broadcasting Services. Together, we will come up with solid strategies that will see the information sector unpacking these achievements to make a strong case for the scheduled development strategies. Colleagues in government and the media industry, it is my conviction that if the nation is to meaningfully and viably realize its developmental aspirations as enunciated in the National Development Strategy 1, citizens, families, the corporate sector, local authorities, government departments, other countries that we do business with, as well as investors from within and abroad, need to understand the course we've charted out in the NDS 1. People need information to understand what NDS is all about, so they can participate enthusiastically. The mantra which was chosen by the Second Republic, Zimbabwe is open for business, needs to be made a reality by sharing information that advances the national agenda. Zimbabwe cannot be seen as open for business if there is discord in the messages coming out of government and our media houses, as we will be sending wrong, mixed, and confusing signals. And I always say, as public relations of this country, we are there to brand a Zimbabwe we all want. So whenever we take a pen and write, whenever we open our mouth and talk, when you go on social media, wherever you are, remember, whatever message you're putting across unites the people of this country. It is only when we are united that there is peace. And where there is unity, where there is peace, there is certainly development. The media has been called the fourth estate. This more from the important role it has assumed in statecraft and nation building. So you have a great job of nation building. We are obliged as government working with the media to ensure that the nation moves in unison as one entity, such that at the end of the day, everyone plays their role in ensuring that this nation's goal is realized. This is why we are always saying we want to work very closely with all of you. Our ministry, as doors are open for you, let's continue to work together to make this country great. So that national responsibility, or rather obligation, to ensure that there is a shared national vision for the common good of everyone, lies squarely on our shoulders. And as we gathered here, it is our responsibility. Government is the main source of the information of where the nation is going. Meanwhile, the media, with your communication capacity and capabilities, you have the platform and skills to inform and galvanize the nation to that end. This calls for close collaboration between government and the media, as well as unity of purpose in the media industry in pursuit of that national interest. It is my wish that sooner rather than later, there shall come a day when there is no reference to public or private sector or private press, but there is Zimbabwean press. And I repeat, in this position as the Minister of Information, Publicity and Broadcasting Services, we want our press to be referred as Zimbabwean press, because you are all press for this country. Zimbabwe's ability to create wealth for its people hinges on how much of us all can contribute to the improvement of our national competitiveness in an anarchic world characterized by vicious competition between states. And I'm glad you know there's now devolution, and there are ministers in charge of provincial affairs and devolution, and the budget has been put aside for that, so that each and every one of our people in all the 10 provinces of this country can participate in the economic activities of their own provinces. The MDS1 has 14 thematic areas, which are the national avenues of approach in attaining Vision 2030. These require us to unpack them into palatable pieces that can be understood by all and sundry, including our youth, our grandmothers and grandfathers in the rural areas, so that we march forward as one people. As our president is always saying, nobody should be left behind. The development strategy speaks to the uplifting of people's lives. It speaks to a modern lifestyle, state-of-the-art infrastructure, enhanced education systems, state-of-the-art healthcare and delivery systems. It speaks to you and me. It speaks to a better Zimbabwe for all of us, and this must be highlighted. We must demystify highly complex terms such as towards a prosperous and empowered upper middle income society by 2030. The issues we should talk about should identify Zimbabwe, should define Zimbabwe. Let's not leave the responsibilities of defining our country to those out there. Because if they don't like us, if they don't like Zimbabwe, they will define it the way they want. So the responsibility of defining a country which we want, as Zimbabwe want, lies with us as Zimbabweans. Let me say, I take this opportunity as your minister to talk a little more about what has been happening and what is happening in the country. This workshop is coming at the most ideal time in the economic history of this country. Let me just begin by quoting one citizen of this country, Eddie Cross, who is our renowned economist and member of the Monetary Policy Committee of the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe. And I quote, "We are slowly getting our act together. Our economy is expanding, local currency stable and undervalued, and our productive sector is exporting." And I'm talking to you because we want to be clear of where we are coming from, the foundation of TSP, and now where we are moving to as a country. And another ordinary observer remarked, Zimbabwe, when is the last time you saw a queue for fuel? When is the last time you saw a queue for sugar, bread, wufu? For the first time in two decades, we have $1 billion in forex reserves. So these two quotes summarizes the profound changes in the national economic management since the November 2017 Operation Restore Legacy and the Second Republic of His Excellency President E.D. Mnangagwa. The President and his economic team instituted painful measures in the TSP, during the TSP, to revive a comatose and decaying economy. Concurrently, he pursued a vigorous Zimbabwe is open for business policy that set out to nurture and promote local and global capital as a driver of the economic development. The results have been there, as spectacular as they have been game-changing. The belt-tightening austerity of the TSP was, in June this year, 2020, kept by a raft of statutory instruments which were meant to address the festering rot in the monetary domain. The fortified Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe, which is the apex bank of this country, responsible for monitoring the currency in this country, they assumed their constitutional role as the sole monetary authority of the land. Two private entities that had engaged in the wholesale printing of money were tamed and shuttered. There was miraculous money in this country, and the two statutory instruments did tame that. The arbitrary and corruption allocation of foreign currency was replaced with the Dutch auction on the foreign exchange market. The forces of supply and demand now determine the global price of the Zimbabwe dollar. It is now week 20 of the Dutch auction. The Zim dollar has remained firm at 82 to the American greenback. At national level, there is now price parity. We are here in the beautiful city of Gweru, and I want to thank Comrade Chimeta for welcoming us. And by the way, I want to say Gweru is doing extremely well. I saw them scooping a number of prizes, especially in the public relations. Congratulations, Gweru City. Prices in Gweru, prices in Mutare, prices in Bulawayo are beginning to stabilize for the same price, for the same item. We know at one time prices were just so much in disparity. The ghost of hyperinflation has been exorcised. The public, the workers, and the businessmen now all operate in an environment of price stability and predictability. Zimbabwe is once again a normal economy like any other in the world today. Free market forces of supply and demand hold sway for the first time in 130 years since colonization by Cecil John Rhodes in 1890. This explains the prevalence of the phenomena aptly captured by the two quotes which I gave you above. Companies at every level of economic activity have greeted the news of restoration of the buying power of the national currency with enthusiastic delight. All said they can now plan with a certain measure of certainty. So manufacturing is on the upswing in a very bullish economic environment. These pleasant developments which happened under the TSP are feeding on a raft of business incentives that are awaiting both domestic and foreign direct investment. First to go was the patently repulsive indigenization policy. Foreign direct investments needs no longer fierce summary appropriation at the border post of entry. These are success stories of the Second Republic. The latest masterstroke is the Global Compensation Agreement between the government and the erstwhile white commercial farmers. It removed the scourge of carryover historical grievances of the land reform report. Farming is now entertaining the negative taint of race. Tony Matesi. I'm a good farmer, by the way. Global markets are now being accessed without the threat of boycotts. These are the successes of your country. We need to look into them, right into their face, and write about them, and talk about them, because they make our country better. They bring a lot of hope among our people. Just to talk about adaptation of weather-proofed, climate-proofed agriculture, Vumbudza. The Vumbudza farming techniques announced food security to be predominantly rural population of Zimbabwe. And we've been going around the country and we want, and I know we've got a lot of journalists in the rural areas. Let's talk about the success of that Vumbudza. The UNESCO recognized high human resource index has rewarded Zimbabwe with a hard-working and creative diaspora. Again, this is an area you should be proud of. It's in Zimbabwe that end up teaching English to England. And we should be proud of it. That's our. We are saying it is received with open business arms in various regional and global markets. We are looking for the day when our Zimbabweans who have been out there in the diaspora, gaining a lot of experience, experts in many fields, come home and give it back to their own country. But we need to create that environment. The first reason why they left the country is because they were looking for an employer. They were looking for a company which could employ them. So we need to make sure that we create those companies in this country so that they can come back and give back what they have learned out there. So truly the diaspora is poised to energize the national development ethos of Comrade E.T. Mnangagwa and the Second Republic. All these bold policy reforms have given a boost to the process of engagement and re-engagement with both traditional friends and erstwhile adversaries in the major economies of the West. Zimbabwe is fast shedding off the case of the pariah state. A new shining brand is taking hold. There is a new can-do. That mood is permeating among Zimbabweans. And I saw it myself when I was at Ziba, and I saw young, upcoming youth doing wonderful things and being recognized. And we say, we as Zimbabweans, we can turn around. So we are very happy to see that can-do mood which is now permeating among our Zimbabweans as they play their role in making sure that a great country is built. Meanwhile, the Africa Free Trade Area beckons for industrious and organized Zimbabwean labor. Over 1 billion and youthful population is poised to follow Asia into global economic activity. The world is expectant of African economic miracle. It also helps that there is a demand in African products driven by the expanding Asian middle class. This is a top the usual European and American markets. It is important, ladies and gentlemen, that we place the NDS-1 in this context. As reporters, we need to appreciate these dynamics of a major paradigm shift. It will help capture trends and events so you can tell a good and proper story to our Zimbabwean audience. This picture translates into the quest of middle income status nation by 2030, which is the vision of our president, the vision of our Second Republic. As journalists, you now need to weed out the social media capture of gossip and fake news. Instead, you should refocus on writing stories of people at work in their factories, people at work in their fields. They are busy taking advantage of a new and enabling economic environment. Tell the story of hope. Tell the story of confidence. A story which will build confidence in our people. We are a hard-working people as a nation. His Excellency President E.G. Mnangagwa has put together a dream economic team led by our Honorable Professor Mthuli Mncube, our Minister of Finance and Economic Development, and our RBZ Governor, John Mangudya. So your assignment as press is to unpack their work, tell it to the people, report feedback, and make everyone be well informed. We need to move with everybody. The initiative of the Second Republic to make sure that we have got a post-cabinet after every cabinet is actually demonstrating how the Second Republic wants to work transparently and be accountable to the people so that we move with the people. And that way, conscious decisions are made in time as we chart progress together. Ladies and gentlemen, colleagues, Zimbabwe is on the rebound, as I have illustrated. And we are facilitators and messengers towards that goal. This training workshop gives scope for reorientation, recalibration, and refocusing of our lenses as we zero in on propagating the real Zimbabwe story locally and internationally. Hakuna kunyora stories. So kuti kana uri muZimbabwe ukatobuda munyika muno, you get at the port of entry and you present your passport, everybody looks at you, oh, there they come from that country again. It's our country together. And I always say this, that when you move around, when you get out of this country as a Zimbabwean, you move around with a Zimbabwean passport, all of us. Nobody moves around with a tag, either MDC or ZANU-PF or I'm just a civil servant or as a government. No. We move around with a Zimbabwean passport. That's how we are identified. The impressions of those people at port of entry, they are built by us. What kind of a country we are, what kind of a people we are. So we really need to tell the story as it is. To that end, as I end, the key deliverables from this training workshop include the following: an opportunity to improve access to information on TSP and NDS-1 by media houses, an appreciation of the key tenets that will help government and the media to foster peace and stability as prerequisite for national development, an appreciation of the successes of TSP to help government and the media to set the stage for the rolling out of NDS-1, a deep understanding of the NDS-1 as a way of equipping government and the media with the best strategies and knowledge to inform the nation of our international clients and our international clients and our stakeholders on the viability of this strategy. Identification of business opportunities available to media in communicating NDS1. Identification of potential areas in which media can play its watchdog role in constructively helping government to close loopholes that can militate against the attainment of NDS1 goals. Production of a list of the key programs that government and the media should prioritize in communicating NDS1. Establishment of lasting network platforms between government and the media for NDS1 communication. These are some of the key deliverables you should walk out with, the takeaways. As we all participate in the workshop, let us all be aware that the COVID-19 second wave is upon us and showing signs of being more vicious and severe than the first wave. I thus urge you all to exercise caution and adhere to the measures that have been put in place by government to curtail the spread of this pandemic in gatherings of this nature. Screening of participants, physical and social distancing, wearing of masks, and high levels of hygiene are some of the critical and important measures that we should observe. And you knew I was going to talk about this. I'm the spokesperson of the task force, and there was no way I would end this speech without emphasizing that. And in conclusion, colleagues, once again, allow me to thank you all for working so hard to make the workshop a reality. I see experts. As I'm saying, this room is oozing with knowledge. PR people who continue to brand this country to be a better country. It is my hope that we will have follow-up workshops later to share feedback so that we continue to shape our communication strategy for national development. Let me take this opportunity to wish all participants frank, constructive, and fruitful deliberations that will usher in a new kind of journalism and collaboration between government and the media in the ways that puts our country in national objectives first. I encourage you to read the main source documents that anchor the workshop, including the TSP and NDS1, because as government officials and the media, if we fail to grasp the crux of those matters, herein with them, the ordinary men and women who rely on us to interpret such matters that are of vital importance to the nation will not get it. I want to thank you sincerely, and just before I finish, I want to acknowledge the presence of my dear husband, Ambassador Chris Mchango, who has just walked in. Thank you for the support. God bless you all, and I love you, and I want to work with you. I am an open person. Is what you see is what you get.
Thank you.